Today we are heading out to the garden and we are going to be harvesting some of our fall crops that we have, and we want to store those in our root cellar. So it is November 2nd and we are going to get some of this stuff out before it gets too cold. So I just need some shears for the tops. So we'll head down to the garden. You can see we have our fall crops here and then cabbages down there. We also have ryegrass growing where the other crops used to be. There's Pedro. And that is a cover crop that we've planted this year. We've only done this for the first time, so we'll see how it works out. But we've got our carrots. We've had some really hard frosts, and this morning everything was covered in a very thick layer of frost. So I'm surprised the lettuce is still holding up here. But we have our carrots. We've got two varieties. There's one called Sugar Snacks, and that is in this row. And the next one is Bolero. And then we have our lettuce. We also have beets, and this variety is Merlin. And we have turnip. I don't remember what these ones were called. I think maybe Laurentian, maybe. I just got them from the hardware store because I forgot to order turnip seeds. We also have our leeks. That variety is Lancelot, maybe? Can't remember. I'll have to ask James. But we did have problems with our leeks this year. We had onion maggot on those, so hopefully we do get some. And then this celery, it's called, this variety is Tango, and we had a problem with celery. The celery had curly leaf disease, and you can see I just picked up in here. You can see there's spots on it, and some of the leaves died off. So I do hope we get some, because I like to put some celery in the freezer for soup. Hopefully some is going to be able to be salvaged. And then down here, our cabbage. I thought they were goners this morning just because of how cold it was. But I did see some guys harvesting cabbage on one of the farms not far from here this morning. So I thought they'll be okay. Look at that ryegrass. That's growing really well. That's pretty long. Looks nice. Yep, cabbages are still good. Maybe I better take those out today too, just in case. Actually, it's supposed to get up to about 20 next week. So I think maybe I can keep them in the ground. Hi. Hi, babe. So the carrots and the beets and the turnip were all planted August 6th, you said? Yeah, so they were planted August 6th, and it's November 2nd today. Some of these carrots are beauts. So this year we planted the carrots in almost a raised bed within the garden. You can see the bottom of the garden right here. Almost like a hill, almost like how you would do potatoes. Because we found last year that the carrots were growing so deep into the ground that they were breaking off. So if they're raised up, we can basically just pull them right out. Better here, move these leaves away. So that's the base of the garden, and all the way up here are the carrots. We have this really soft soil up here, so it's really easy to pull them. It's a nice one. Lovely. Look. Yeah, they're really nice. Oh, these are beautiful. We don't even have to dig. And we found last year they did get a little bit too big. So this is perfect. Little tiny guy. They were just a little bit Just a little bit too big last year. Odie. Here, look. We've just shoveled away some of this soil here, and you can actually see the depth. How high that we've hilled up these carrots. Let's see if I can see. There. So yeah. Yep. So because they were hilled up, we're not breaking the ends when they go into the clay below this finer soil here. And this is soil that we had trucked in about 4 years ago. So this part of the garden here has it. It's usually sandier. That down there is usually a little bit more clay. So this soil is perfect for carrots. Because if you have really clay-like soil, the carrots are just going to get all misshapen and they don't grow long and straight. Wow. Look at these. That's beautiful. You also have to space them properly, thin them out. I'm guilty of just never wanting to thin them. James always makes me thin them, or he'll suggest we thin them. And because he thins them, we get carrots like that. If we didn't, they would all be gnarly together. We actually don't plant carrots in the spring. We always wait until the fall, because I find that they have the best flavor once they have been snapped with some frost. They're really, really sweet. So if these carrots are, we'll say, 65 to 70 days, we plant them in August. So there's August and September, so that's 60. I know, look at the size of this. So that's 60 days. October, what is he doing? Otis was just chasing his tail. And then, so August, September, October, there's 90 days, but we need to plant them a little bit in advance so that they actually grow. And then we just leave them in the garden until it gets cold so that they get sweet. These are Bolero. The other ones on the other side were sugar snacks. Once the soil was loosened, they just pull right out and no breaking. So there's the carrots from two 30-foot rows, and the rows were planted 18 inches apart. And we will put these into storage and not have to buy carrots again until probably, well, when they run out, or June or July. So that's when the cold cellar starts to, well, it is warm, but the carrots actually last quite a while in the cold cellar, even though it's warm. So what we'll do is we're going to trim the tops off to about there. And because this soil was so lovely, we're not going to bother cleaning these carrots off. A couple of years ago, they were in clay. And I did not wash them off, and they did have lumps of clay on them. And I found that they just kind of rotted where the clay was. So last year we washed them off and let them dry out on the deck. But this year, I'm really not going to bother because they're basically pretty clean. So I think I'm going to go ahead and top these carrots, and we're going to harvest our beets and our turnip maybe later. Next week it's supposed to be really warm again. It's about 5 degrees right now, and it's supposed to get up to 20. So I think we'll do that next week. And I'll just show you these beets. They're a nice size. There, perfect. And we'll store these in sand too. So we'll have fresh beets. I'm also going to do some pickled beets. I love those. We'll do that. Some of the turnip have gotten really big. We like them when they're small. This one's massive. That's huge. We also have a couple of videos about carrots on our channel, And the first one is how we plant carrots for excellent germination, and I'll link that one above here. And then we have another one where we show you how we harvest and store our carrots in sand in the root cellar for the winter. So I can link that one above too, and you can check that one out. Look at these little romaine lettuces. Not very big, but they're still really sweet. I'm gonna take, and then we have also some leaf lettuce. Just usually leave about that much. Not too much of the stem because they always sprout and I don't want the stem to rot. It's fine if they sprout, but I just don't want the stem to rot when they're in storage. I'm gonna inspect them. That one's got a bit of a wormhole. Just cut that off. And I can use that tonight in a salad. I'm gonna pick a couple of turnip for supper tonight, just so I could see if they're really sweet yet or not. We did try them about a month ago, and some of them were a little bitter, so we thought we'd try them after a couple of frosts. So let's try these. So these won't get any bigger, so we'll just eat these tonight. There. And here are the carrots for our storage. I'll take those up. And that. So I just got back in the house and the carrots are down the basement, and after supper I'm going to layer the carrots in sand for the winter. So that's the lettuce that I just picked, and that looks lovely. I've washed it, and we're gonna have that for a salad tonight. And then I've grabbed some potatoes from the root cellar. I'm gonna chop those up and roast those in the oven. I have the turnip going on the stovetop. That doesn't really match, but I just wanted to try them. And then a quick supper tonight, I've got some boxed haddock. So I like that stuff. We don't have a lot of fresh fish options around here, so I don't know, I like boxed fish every once in a while. So anyway, that is our harvest for today. Okay, I have an update on the turnip. So supper's still cooking, but I wanted to try them ahead of time, so I put some butter and salt and pepper on them. And they're super sweet. They're really good. It made a real difference to leave them in there to get nipped by frost a bunch of times, so they're really good. I'm really glad that we didn't pull them up and get rid of them. Yeah, they're good. So we will put those in sand too. So it was just my little update.